When Apple soured on Irish tax laws, it turned to a tiny English Channel island. According to newly leaked documents, in recent years, Apple used a Bermuda-based law firm to take advantage of highly advantageous, though legal, tax arrangements in Jersey to mitigate its tax burden as much as possible. Further, ReadingEvery US taxpayer has effectively paid Apple at least $6 in recent years. The so-called Paradise Papers, which were leaked to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, show that as the so-called double Irish tax loophole began to close, Apple began shopping for a new place to park its hundreds of billions in offshore cash. As one of the world's largest corporations, Apple's tax practices have been scrutinized in recent years. Under American law, companies must pay a 35% corporate tax rate on global profits when that money is brought home, so there is an incentive to keep as much of that money overseas as possible. Also, due to various tax law exemptions or loopholes, large multinational companies typically do not pay the full 35%. In 2013, a Senate report found that Apple, over a 4-year period from 2009 to 2012, DEFER'd paying U.S. taxes on $44 billion of offshore income, or more than $10 billion of offshore income per year. As a result, Apple has continued to build up its offshore cash holdings, which now exceed $102 billion. Further, reading Dutch sandwich with a side of tax relief may soon be off Google's menu. The same report concluded Apple has exploited a difference between Irish and U.S. tax residency rules. According to a recent report by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, under a newly proposed Republican tax plan that would allow for a one-time tax holiday to encourage companies to bring money home, Apple would be the single largest corporate beneficiary. But recently, according to the ISAJ, Apple employed an American law firm, Baker McKenzie, which in turn contacted an offshore specialist firm in Bermuda, known as Appleby. In 2014, Baker McKenzie emailed Appleby offices in various tax havens, including Jersey, a British dependency in the English Channel with a population of about 100,000. One message asked that the offices confirm that an Irish company can conduct management activities without being subject to taxation in your jurisdiction. Apple also reportedly asked for assurances that the local political climate would remain friendly. Are there any developments suggesting that the law may change in an unfavorable way in the foreseeable future? Further, reading: if Apple didn't hold $181 billion overseas, it would owe $59 billion in U.S. taxes. The ISAJ did not publish the full cache of documents that it received. As the ISAJ also noted, Jersey charges no corporate taxes for most companies. 2 of Apple's 3 subsidiaries in Ireland were then declared resident in Jersey. The third company, Apple Operations Europe, remains a tax resident in Ireland. Apple, the ISAJ concluded, has continued to enjoy ultra-low tax rates on most of its profits and now holds much of its non-U.S. earnings in a $252 billion mountain of cash offshore. The Irish government's crackdown on shadow companies, meanwhile, has had little effect. Omri Marion, a tax law professor at the University of California, Irvine, told ours that the leaks show Apple has nearly unprecedented corporate power. Apple is so big that it is effectively able to negotiate its own tax laws, he emailed. If one jurisdiction doesn't come through for them, Ireland, they'll just find another that will. Jersey. Samuel Brunson, a tax law professor at Loyola University Chicago, told ours that the offshore notion is a bit of a misnomer, as it simply means that the money remains untaxed until it is returned to the American corporate parent. Further, reading: CEO Tim Cook denies tax dodging. Apple pays every tax dollar we owe. Keeping money offshore very clearly doesn't mean the U.S. parent doesn't have access to it, he emailed. They have to jump through hoops to ensure that it remains untaxed, but they can effectively lend the money or otherwise access it. A recent episode of NPR's Planet Money pointed out that much of this money may be already sitting in American banks. Apple told the Senate as much in 2013. The assets themselves are held in bank accounts in New York. In a lengthy corporate statement posted Monday, Apple wrote that, as the world's largest taxpayer, it pays every dollar it owes in every country around the world. The company went on, noting that the changes Apple made to its corporate structure in 2015 were specially designed to preserve its tax payments to the United States, not to reduce its taxes anywhere else. No operations or investments were moved from Ireland. Apple concluded, when Ireland changed its tax laws in 2015, Apple made changes to its corporate structure to comply. Since then, all of Apple's Irish operations have been conducted through Irish